Hello, you have reached Boston 826's service inquiry line. To speak with a staff member, press 1. To talk to a current volunteer, press 2. To talk with another representative, press. Your call is very important to us. Please wait one moment while we connect you to a volunteer. Hello, my name is Nadia Hayatuddin, and I'm a volunteer with Boston 826 at the Boston Teachers Union School. This call may be recorded for quality assurance purposes. What is your name, and how can I help you today?
Hi Nadia, my name is Shreya and I'm calling because I'm a student at Northeastern University and my first year English class requires that I volunteer weekly with Boston 826. I was hoping that this call would help me decide whether or not this course is a good fit for me.
Well, Shreya, I'm glad to hear that you are looking into service learning. It's honestly such a great experience, and I hope that by the end of this call you will decide to join us at 826. I think that you will be glad to hear that I took the same course my freshman year, which is why I decided to stay on with 826 for the past 2 years.
Oh wow, I've never even considered the possibility of continuing to volunteer after the course is over. It sounds like you had a wonderful experience. What age groups did you usually work with at BTU?
The BTU school is primarily K through 8, so you work with kids as young as 5 and as old as 11 or 12.
Wow, that seems very difficult. It seems like it would be hard to teach such a young age group. How did you overcome this challenge?
It actually is not as big of a challenge as you would think. Most people forget that children are very smart and observant and pick up on a lot of things. When a child is refusing to do his or her work, it is because they see it as a task or a chore. As a tutor, my trick is to make the child see his or her work in a different way. I try to make it fun for them. In this way, the effort put in during these sessions goes both ways. 1, on your part as the tutor, and 2, on the child as the tutee.
I guess that makes sense when you explain it like that. What if I realize that I'm not comfortable with working with such a young age group? Do I have other options?
Yes, of course. The John D. O'Brien School is a high school that also has a partnership with 826. Most people who decide to volunteer here are working with older students who need help with more advanced essays and college applications. If you decide to volunteer here, most of your work will be dealing with advanced mechanics of writing, whereas at BTU, there is more room for flexibility and fun tasks since the children are younger.
That's very good to know. In that case, what would you consider your most memorable experience at BTU?
Wow, that's a tough one. I think I'll have to go with a time when I was working with a group of fourth grade girls. They were working on literary magazines and had to draw storyboards for their projects. They were all working independently, and I decided to sit down and draw with them. One of the girls loved my drawings and asked me to sign it for her, and after this, every week I came, she would make sure to come to the writer's room and say hi to me. This is an example of what I was talking about earlier, about effort. Effort is really important in these situations because it's the easiest way to gain your tutee's trust. In this case, I made an effort to show interest in her assignment, and in return, I gained the trust of one of my tutees. Once this happens, the entire tutoring process becomes much easier because there is now a level of respect that has been established between both the tutor and the tutee.
That's a very interesting concept. Is there some sort of training for all of us?
Yes, of course. Before you start your session, there will be a mandatory orientation for new tutors where you will learn all you need to know. Also, when you are at your session, you will not be working alone. There are teachers and other volunteers available to help you with any questions you may have, and it really is an open and welcoming community, so if you really need guidance, getting it will certainly not be an issue.
That's very good to hear. Since there will be an orientation, does that mean that the first day will be as difficult as the rest, or do we ease into it? I guess what I'm asking is, what was your first day like?
Surprisingly, my first day at BTU was actually my favorite day there. I got to work in the music room with kindergartners and third graders. We started the session with a dance and a chant and played with the children in the classroom. And after that, they worked on poems about things that they loved, and we ended the class with another song. The energy in the room was so positive and fun that in this moment I realized that I belonged in that classroom. What I saw on that day was awe-inspiring and erased all of my worries about being a good volunteer. In this moment, I decided that I would continue to volunteer with 826, and I have been with them for 2.5 years now.
That sounds surreal. Hearing that really makes me want to take this course. Do you have any advice to give me that you wish you knew before you started volunteering?
I would encourage you not to worry too much about doing the wrong or right thing. The idea of good or bad tutoring is very subjective because it's a two-way relationship where the tutor has a certain teaching style and the tutee has a certain learning style. What is most important here is communication between both parties and the teacher's ability to adapt to different teaching styles. Ultimately, I would argue that good tutoring is contingent upon a positive relationship between both the tutor and the tutee, which relates back to what I said about respect in the classroom.
That is very good advice. From what I heard so far, it sounds like you've had a great time, but there had to be some challenges, right? What would you consider your biggest challenge?
That is a great question, Shreya. My biggest challenge was establishing boundaries in the classroom. I enjoy working with kids, and sometimes it's easy to blur the line between being a peer or friend versus being a mentor. As someone in an authoritative position, it is important to find a balance between these two ideas because, on one hand, you want to gain your tutee's approval, so you don't want to be too strict. But on the other hand, if you're not strict enough, your tutee can try to take advantage of your relationship by not doing the work he or she is supposed to do. When you have boundaries in the classroom, it not only provides a productive space for you and your tutee, but also sets an example for other students in the classroom.
I really appreciate your insight, and I believe that this call has not only reassured me that this is a good idea, but also taught me a lot about volunteering that I couldn't have learned anywhere else.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad I could help you today. For access to more information on how to contact us, call this number back and press star to hear our menu options about contact information. Do you have any more questions for me today?
No, I think I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, please do not hesitate to call, and I hope you will join us here at Boston 826. Bye.